Yo, 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 good morning, gang. And as always, I hope you're feeling good, feeling great, and feeling wonderful. Today is Tuesday, October 11th, and you are now tuning into another morning prep video. And if you are a returning viewer, then you already know what's going on. I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by again. All that good stuff, man. Really, I do appreciate it. If you are a new viewer, this is your first time on my channel, then basically all I do is a quick little look over the E-mini S&P 500 futures, so basically /ES. But I do a little top-down analysis here in the morning, just basically getting ready for the trading day, right? So I'm going to go over some of the bigger time frame levels that I'll be watching for, but a little bit more importantly, the levels that we'll be watching for today, some possible trading levels and or some possible trade ideas, right? So if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, man, cool, stick around, and you might learn something, you might see something you like, and if not, it's all good, man. There's plenty of people who do similar things, and you'll find somebody you fuck with. All right, so with all that out of the way, man, let's get right into it. Let's see what we got. All right, so today we're gonna start with the weekly chart. I just kind of wanted to, now this was a video that I'm still struggling to get these done on Sundays, right? But I'm just kind of gonna touch on what I see here on the weekly. All right, so we see here that last week, massive wick to the top, right? And then really what I want to point out is how we wicked out to the top and then closed below this 200 EMA, right? So this is our weekly 200 EMA. That's really what I was watching for all last week on the bigger time frame, right? I wanted to see if we were going to hold above this 200 EMA or close below it. So there you go. We closed below it. A strong wick to the upside obviously means that the buyers were too weak right here. Sellers stepped in, pushed us all the way down, and yeah. So that's kind of what I get from the weekly. What I really just wanted to watch and look at was this 200 EMA. So we're officially under it. We closed under it, and we even opened this week under it, stayed under it. So that's what we're getting from the weekly, right? More bearish than bullish right here. So that's pretty obvious, and that's pretty simple to see, right? So we're gonna, and then actually before I go, where's that at? Yeah, we could do that right here actually. Gonna bring in our studies, and we're gonna pull up our volume profile right here. And just a quick look at the volume profile, right? You guys see this little box that I kind of have right here. I hope that you guys can see that in the video, but basically this is a level of support that I'm watching for on the way down, right? So this is around what, 3550s down to about 3500 even, and basically what is that, 3510, but 3500 probably is where it would go. And what I want you guys to peep here is that this might be a level of support on our way down. We're getting real close to it, but look at the volume profile. That area of support is sitting in an area with no volume. There's no volume here. This is an empty I don't really know what to call it, void, right? This is a void right here, right? There's no volume. So I'm not saying that price is going to hit this area right here and then just fly through it, but keep in mind that there's no volume here, and the next area where we end up getting some volume, right, because the market likes to go from high volume node to high volume node. So if we're crossing through all these low volume nodes, and then we got this basically a gap, right, no volume here, then the next high volume node is over here, right around 33.28, 33.30s. Not saying that that's where price is going to go, but just keep a lookout for that, right? If this 35.30s, I must say 35.50 down to 3500 even, if we don't get any relief bounce and start moving back up from there, then I could easily see us going down to pre-COVID highs right here around what, 33.80s, where this volume is at, right? So just kind of wanted to show you guys that on the volume side of things, right? Let's pull this back up. And yeah, I think we're done here for the weekly. There's not too much I'm watching here on the weekly, but besides the fact that we had strong sellers last week, we are now below the 200 EMA, and we are holding below the 200 EMA. All right, so that is what I got for the weekly. All right, let's drop down. Let's go to the daily. Let's push this down a little bit, and let's see what we got here on the daily. All right. And yesterday was an interesting day, right? If anyone, if you guys trade and you guys know about this box right here, right? And you might have not got it just from my videos. There's a couple guys I watch, and they have the same range, right? If you're watching this range, we have been going back and forth through this range, like just wild, just wild price action, going, from the top of the range to the bottom, breaking the bottom of the range, failing the bottom, going to the top, breaking the top, failing the top, back down. And it's just pretty hectic in this box, right, guys? So, I mean, really, as far as what I've got for you guys on this daily time frame, and just overall what I've got for just for what my overall my thought process is when we're around this box, in or around this box, yeah, be careful. All right, I personally would just small scalps, small position sizing. I personally have no idea what goes on in this box, right? You guys can see countless attempts below, right? Look below, fail. Look above, fail. And then it's always just like a run through the box, right? Like, we came from the bottom straight to the top. Then we break above, fail up here, go straight to the bottom. Like, it's just like, who knows what's going on in that box, right? So all I want you guys to get from the daily time frame, or from this daily perspective here, yesterday we closed pretty much a doji, exactly a doji, right? And what's that mean? That means no decision, indecision yesterday, right? Now, you'll see on the smaller time frames that we did break below the box, you can see, because of the wick, but we ended up closing back inside of the box. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, bears were there, they pushed through the box, we're gonna go down. You think it's it's bloodshed time, you think it's time for us to just die, and then the buyers step back in and push us back within that box, just like they've been doing for the last 2-3 weeks, right? So just keep that in mind here. We do have a doji indecision candle followed by today. It looks like post-market, pre-market, we did continue going down just a little bit, but already getting bought back up, right? So, and we'll see that on the smaller time frames. But on the daily time frame, that's what I got for you guys. There's not too much. Whenever we're around this box, that's really all I got, is watch this box, man. We don't know what's going on in here. Be careful. Trade smaller. Trade smarter. Scout. Don't be married to any position. Don't be married to any bias. Not long, not short. Just play what you get, because this box right here doesn't care what you think. All right. So, excuse me, guys. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys here on the daily. All right. We're gonna drop down to a 4-hour. We're gonna get a quick little zoom in right there. Gotta make that a little bigger right there, and let's see what we looking like on the 4-hour time frame. Right. I believe it was like, a couple videos ago, like 2 videos ago, we talked about the downtrend that we were in. And we also talked about how if we were to get up and over this area right here, and I'll just kind of, let me make this a little bit smaller so you can see where we're getting that from, right? This box right here, this gray box going all the way over here, it was support, 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 support right here. We ended up crossing through that support. That turned resistance, right? So that support was resistance right here. We came back down through that resistance, used it as support again, right? So in the video that I'm referring to, was like, again, I don't know if it was like 2 videos ago, 3 videos ago. It doesn't really matter. But what we were saying is that if we kind of got up and over this box, we wanted to hold it to remain bullish, right? To kind of create a higher low than this, higher low, higher high, high, low, higher high, higher low, and yeah, so that's what we got. And then the next day, that area, it held again, but then pre-market, the next day, it didn't hold anymore, right? So our little bullish run, or little bullish flip was short-lived, right? Got it, held, didn't hold, and now we're far gone from that. We're at the bottom of the box, and therefore we're now back in a downtrend, right? You can see here, and I mean we've been in a downtrend. I'm just saying, like, we're back in a 4-hour downtrend, right? We've got a high, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower low, right? So lower lows, lower highs. We are now again in a 4-hour downtrend, right? You guys can see here in pre-market, this is the push up. As you can see, this big white candle right here is the guy that's trying to get us back in the box right now. So who knows what's gonna go. You guys could see right here, this is what this is the 30th. I don't know if you guys remember, we broke the box to the downside pretty aggressively. Pre-market continued the aggressive downward push, as you can see right here, and guess what happened the next day? I mean, you don't have to guess, you could see it flew right back up. So this right now, to me, means nothing, right? It means I want to see, and I gotta see it to believe it, right? I gotta see that we're gonna hold below the box and keep going down, or that we're gonna go up and through it again. I need to see that. So basically anything that I see right now, like just like all this move, this movement down here doesn't mean, oh, we're bearish, guys. At least me, right? Because I saw it before and it did this. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys on the 4 hour. Hope that gave you guys a little something. That was just a little bit of a, I wouldn't say a rant, but yeah, definitely for sure. Don't know what's going on here on the 4 hour, right? I mean, we see what's going on, but when we're in that box and we're getting near that box, I'm okay with saying I have no idea what's gonna go down, right? Let's switch this over to pre-market. Let's open this up and let's talk about some of the levels that we will be watching for today. All right. So again, if you're new to the channel, then you're not gonna know what we mean by our 3 questions, and you're not gonna know how they answer them and what they mean, right? So I will get to the meaning of the 3 questions and why we ask them towards the end of the questions, all right? So if you get a little bit confused for this next part, stick around, I'll explain it at the end, all right? So what are the 3 questions that we're always asking ourselves every morning, every pre-market, just to see what we got, right? Question number 1 is, where is price currently trading, right? Here's price. Where is it currently trading in relation to the previous day range, right? So here's yesterday's high. We're going to drag this box all the way down to yesterday's low. And then basically you just want to see where price is at. Where's price trading at right now in compared to this range, right? Well, we're inside the range. So question number 1 gives us a balanced-ish answer, right? Where question number 1 is just a squiggly balance line, all right? Question number 2 is, where are we in relation to the overnight range, right? So here's overnight high, there's overnight low, and where are we at? Well, we're pretty much in the middle of that, so we're within the overnight range as well. That gives us another balanced answer, right? And then question number 3, if we just take where we closed yesterday, right? And I'm going to draw this line in blue, right? That's where we closed yesterday, right? Question number 3 is, how much time was spent above the closing and how much time was spent below the closing, right? And we could see here that there's just a little bit of activity was spent above, and then the majority of the activity was spent below, right? So this one we're going to answer, I'll go ahead and give it 90%. Matter of fact, 85% was spent below, and then 15% was spent above, right? So there you go. Those are our 3 questions. Now, why do we ask the questions and what do they mean, right? Well, we want to ask ourselves these questions so that overall we know if there's something to do when the market opens. Right at 9:30 on the bell, is there a possibility for us to snag a play at the opening bell? And how do we, how do these answers, how do we get these, how do we get to our conclusion from these answers, right? So let's get to that. Question number 1 is, where are we in comparison to yesterday's range, right? Well, we're in the middle of it. So what does that mean? Anyone who went long or short when we closed yesterday, they went long here or short. It does not matter. When they get to the table today, when the market opens, price is still within this range. They're either a little bit up, a little bit down, maybe just right around break even, who knows. But there is nothing that they absolutely need to do, right? Just imagine that you went long right here and price opened all the way down here outside of this range, then you would be hurting, right? You would be down. Your position would be hurting, would be big down. You would need to either sell your position for a loss, try to add, to a losing position, whatever. But you have to do something. It doesn't matter what it is you do. You feel like you have to do something, right? And that's what question number 1 gives us, right? Because if we were opening outside of this range, there's a lot of people, whether you went short or long, you're going to have, you're going to want to take action, right? Because if you went short right here when the market closed and then price opened down here, right? Same example, right? If you went long and price opened down here, you're going to be hurting. But what happens if you went short right here and price is opening down here? you're going to be happy. Your position is going to be green. You're going to be good. You might want to add to a winning position. You might expect continuation down, so you're adding to it. And then anyone who's hurting is, going to sell their losing position, and that just adds to the selling pressure. That adds to buying pressure. Anyone who went short down here, sold the market, and they need to buy it back over here because they're big up. That's going to add to buying pressure, right? So basically, question number one, that's what that gives us. That gives us the answer of, is anyone going to open up their computer, sit down at 9:30, and basically have some kind of reaction to where price is at, right? And because we're within this range, then that answer would be no. Nobody's going to be shocked. Nobody's going to be stupid hurt, stupid happy, or anything like that when the market opens, okay? Question number two, the overnight high and the overnight low. And I hope that was helpful, the way I explained question number one. If not, let me know in the comments. Shoot me a DM or anything like that. And we could definitely go over that further. There's a guy on YouTube. His name is Trade Brigade. I'll put him in the description again. This dude goes over these 3 questions, and he does a morning analysis as well. Very good. Recommend. The dude's ridiculous. I love watching his videos every morning. So he's probably actually up right now, but I'm working on mine. So he streams this. Sorry, this is the last bit of information on Trade Brigade. He streams this every morning, 8:30. Again, his stuff will be in the description. All right. Now, the overnight range, right? So if question number one gave us a clear indication that there was something to do at open, right? If question number one was opening outside of the range, then question number two would be the one that we want to watch for in terms of is the play going to be short, long, right? We want to know if we're at the overnight highs or at the overnight lows, because obviously that would be the level that we would use as a stop or anything like that, right? If price opened, let's say down here, right? Price opens, let's say down here above the overnight low, right? So if price opens right here, then we know that these guys, anyone who went short, they're happy, right? They're kind of up. But what happens when the price starts to go down, crosses the overnight low, fails, and starts to come back up? Then now we have a potential play where we can run this little gap from the overnight low to yesterday's low of day. Basically, when question number one is out of range, we have a potential gap fill or gap fill reversal. If you don't know those plays, tune into some other videos. We kind of went over those already. I'm not trying to go over all of that right now because here I am making we're headed towards this 20-minute video, and I'm not trying to make them too long, right? But long story short, if question number one is telling you that there's a gap up or a gap down, then question number two is where we want to look for our stop, right? We want to be closer to our overnight low. If price is opening down here, we want to be right by the overnight low, because that's where we're going to use our potential look below and fail, stop right here, and then we have a gap fill to the top side, right? Hope that was a little bit understandable. I know that because we don't have a number, because number one is opening right in the middle, and we don't have a situation where we could play a gap or anything like that, I can't actually show you, and I can't draw on my charts and the candles here and show you. But I hope that was a little bit helpful, right? And then question number three is just this line right here. Where did we close yesterday, and then how much activities was spent below and how much was spent above. And that just basically gives us an inventory. Was it over correlated to the downside? Was it too much down, too much up? Do we need some kind of inventory correction? And the answer to this one would be no, right? We have all this push down. All this inventory down has already kind of been corrected right here. So you can see all these people who were going short, all this ran up, took these guys out. Most likely they've already got out. So the inventory looks fine, looks balanced, everything looks good, right? So basically, with our 3 questions, we know, or at least we could assume, that there's not too much to do at the opening bell. Patience is the key. Sit tight. One more thing I want to point out is that we're back above the value area low, right? We're inside of value area, right? Let's just kind of do this. And this is yesterday's value area high, value area low. We're back inside of it. That is another indication that there's balance. This is where price is accepted, right? This was the value area yesterday, so people are content with price being in this area, and this could result in two-sided trading, right? So again, when the market opens, there just isn't much indication of a play right at open. Too much balance. Everything seems cool, everything seems relaxed. There just isn't much to do. Patience and wait for a play to come to you, right? So now, with that being said, what are some of the plays that I'll be looking for, and some of the plays that we could go ahead and potentially get, right? Well, as for me, I was watching to see if we were going to. I mean, when I opened this earlier today, we were like somewhere down here, and basically, I was just watching to see if we're gonna fail this yesterday's low of day. So for me, the level to watch for would be yesterday's low of day. If we fail the low of day, then obviously overnight low is your next target, line of support, or whatever. But now that we're opening up here, we're opening inside of the value area. We're opening pretty much smack in the middle of the overnight levels, the yesterday's range, and all that stuff. Again, sideways trading. If and only if we start to come back down, break out of this value area, you could choose to try to short around here if we come back down in back below the value area low, targeting yesterday's low of day. But again, that's just, watch price action, watch volume, watch everything. Make sure everything kind of just confirms your trade idea, right? Me personally, I'm gonna be watching for yesterday's low of day at 3,600 even. Really good whole cycle number, looks nice. And yeah, if we lose that, I don't see anybody stepping in and stopping this from happening, right? So if we lose yesterday's low of day, then definitely have potential for. I didn't even see how many points that was. Hold on. Yeah, you have about 14 points there. From here to here, 14 points. And then of course that's the next level we want to watch, 35.84 for a bounce. Or if that fails, it's bye bye from there, right? Our next level that we have on the daily and weekly time frames as for support would be 35.43. You guys remember at the beginning of the video I showed you guys that like gray box that goes from like 35.50 down to like 35.10. Well, that gray box is this area, and I think if I switch that to this, you can see it. Yeah, so here's that box. This would be our area of support. Obviously a big range, right? But just watch the top of it. 35.50 would be a number that I'm watching, right? So if this breaks below 35.84, possibly 35.50, and possibly even lower than that, all right? So that's what I'm watching for as far as puts, and that's if the sellers have the juice that they had yesterday. I mean, obviously you can see that they started strong. Price was just kind of going down, waterfalling, and then they found that low right here, ran it back up, right? That's where we was outside the box, and then we was back in the box, right? So basically that's what I'll be watching for today. Do sellers have the juice still? Are they still going to be in control today? Are they going to get us back out of that box? And let me just see. Yeah, we're barely inside of the box, actually. We're not inside it right now. So the box is playing as resistance right now. So just kind of keep that in watch today, because we could get another fly through the box, right? That's just something that's in the back of my head too, because you never know. We've seen it now over and over and over. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing opened, we kind of chill here for a second or whatever, and then boom, we end up flying all the way up here and closing up here or something like that. Wouldn't be surprised, honestly. So as far as longs though, I personally don't plan on getting into any long positions, again, unless they're quick scalps or anything like that, until we're above yesterday's high of day. All right, there is a set of single prints right here, this little dotted blue line around 36.52. So if we do open, and we do get above the overnight high and value area high, and stuff is looking strong, what I'm saying, we're looking like the bulls are here, and we're going to get in the box, back to the top of the box, all that stuff. Watch this 36.50 area, right? Single prints could act as resistance. We could hit that, roll over, and start coming back down. Or if we break up and over through that single prints, make sure that you see something like this kind of happen fairly quickly, right? From what I've gathered, single prints, that's an area of low, there's no volume there. If you don't know what single prints is, if you come over here to the market profile, which looks like this, and if you don't know what this is, I eventually will make a video on it, but if not, you'll find some on YouTube. There's Trade Brigade, again, really good video on how to set this up and what this is, all right? But basically, a set of single prints is this right here. You guys see how the number one right here, there's no other number next to it, right? Where all these guys are kind of just scrunched up together. These guys have two, these guys have a lot and a lot, but these ones, they're all by themselves. That is a set of single prints, right? So if you look down here, this is the set of single prints that I'm watching above 36.52. So all I'm saying is, if we do get a strong push up when we open and we start to move up, price gets to this 36.52, 36.53 area, it may or may not reject, right? But if it does reject, we know that that's more bearish than bullish, right? This is a low volume. We should easily glide through this area if we get in it, right? So basically, watch this line for resistance. If we reject off it, bear still in control. If we go through it and up, then that's a little bit more bullish, and we might be able to keep running up for the day. All right. So watch the single prince area. If we get something like we go into the single prince area, go about halfway up, and then reverse, that is also a sign of weakness, right? Because again, low volume area, we should glide through this. If there's resistance within, excuse me. If there's resistance within this area, then buyers are not strong enough to do quote unquote their job and get us up through this, and therefore that's just more bearish than bullish. Be looking for like a reversal, and then we're going back down, right? So just keep a lookout for that. As far as going long, you could go long above the overnight, above the value area. And that's just, remember, we trade these levels accordingly, right? We watch these levels. We watch how price gets, or how price reacts when it gets to those levels, okay? If this were to open, hit value area or hit the overnight high, kind of do something like this. Oh, too many lines. And then crosses up and over, that's bullish, right? Overnight high was holding as resistance, but then we crossed above it. You can target value area high after that. I personally would just wait till we're outside of the value area altogether, which means I don't want to take any trades within here, right? Price is content anywhere in here. You can get calls right here, price comes down here, and you're out of your calls, but price is still where it's content, right? So that's pretty much all I got for you guys this morning. Again, I'm not watching too much whilst we're in this box. I want to see if we're going to stay in the box for today. Are we going to reject the box all day today? Or are we just going to chop around under it and maybe a little bit inside it? Who knows? For today, just kind of sit tight, be patient. Our 3 questions give us balance. We are back around the box. And we have news tomorrow. We have CPI, I believe, and we have FOMC numbers tomorrow. So really, I definitely would not be surprised if today was really just straight sideways trading, right? Straight sideways balance, sideways congestion, basically the market getting ready for the news that's going to come out tomorrow and Thursday, right? So we've seen it happen 1,000 times before. Would not be surprised, right? But that is all I have for you guys in this morning's morning prep video. I really do appreciate anybody who stuck around. I know that this one is a little long, but I really do appreciate anybody who stuck around. I really do try to give you guys information that'll be helpful, help you guys trade, help you guys set up these charts yourself, and just make bank, right? So thank you if you stuck around for the whole video, and even if you just came in and watched the beginning for a little bit, who cares? Thank you for the support, all right? You guys have a good one. And of course, I hope that you guys finish today big fat green, make a band in the market, and let's get it. All right, you guys have a good one. Peace.